Baby, please, I just want to take you higher, higher. Come on, let me light your fire. Ooh, I just want to take you higher so you can go with me. There's no gravity. I just want to take you higher. All right, just making sure everything is everything before I get my party started up in here. All right. Okay. Now, all right. Welcome to the Jaybefaunt channel. I am your host, Jaybefaunt Leroy. It is so good to see all of you here. Today is Thursday, August 4th, 2022. It is so good to see all of you here on a special stream that I am doing, kind of impromptu, but nonetheless, it is good to be with you. The Jaybefaunt Show is also available on all major podcast platforms like Anchor, Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, so you can subscribe to me there. I'm also part of the Revolutionary Blackout Network. You can find me on the JB Show on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on RBN, and like for instance tonight on the Sabi and JB Show, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. Now, please make sure to give this stream a thumbs up. If you're coming in, make sure you put it in there, all right? And if you're also new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe and click the link bell to let you know when I go live. Please and thank you. I love you very much. Also, give a shout out to my patrons on Patreon and Coffee. For without you, I am not even able to be on here, so you can see all the people that I have scrolling down below. And also to anybody who does get memberships on this channel as well, I do appreciate it very much as well. So what are we talking about today? Okay. We're talking about weed. And hypocrisy. But before we get to that, I want to make sure I get to everyone that is watching. Everybody that is watching and here in the chat, all up in the chat saying hello to me today, is we have the illustrious and the divine Swery Fairy coming in first. Say happy Thursday, fam. Hope y'all are staying in the air conditioning. You ain't got to tell me twice. Swery, look, do I no, do I look like somebody that is built for the heat? No, I am built for hibernation. Shadow Star Ace says happy Thursday to you, Shadow Star Ace. Nice to see you here as well. Terry Connolly is also in the chat. Good afternoon to you. All right, he says good afternoon, JB and fam. Zach Davis is also in the house. Hey, JB. Hey, Zach. So good to see you. Also joining us here for this discussion. Where Pilgrim is in there. He's in the zone. So good to see you, Where Pilgrim. Give him the boot. There's woo to you too as well. All right. All power to the worker says, are we having a smoke shift? Nah, not right now. I mean, if I did, then, I would have done it off screen because, of course, what's something that a lot of people don't know is that kind of doing it on camera can also demonetize you on YouTube. And you have to kind of, because that can be considered paraphernalia. Never mind people that, take sips of alcohol on camera, or never mind people who smoke cigarettes, tobacco products on camera. But you can't do, any of the wowie sauce, any of the the Chief Keef on camera on YouTube, or you'll get demonetized. It's weird, but we're talking about hypocrisy today, so so. All right. So now, um, two things. Well, really, two people. So we have everybody's been talking about Brittany Griner. Who is Brittany Griner? Well, Brittany Griner is a WNBA professional basketball player. She is a two-time U.S. Olympic gold champion, U.S. Olympic champion, and an 8-time All-Star winner with the WNBA, and she was with the Phoenix Mercury. So that's who she was, or is, I should say. And so Brittany Griner is in the news because of weed. She's in the news because of weed. And so let me finish. So because she was going to Russia to, do whatever she needs to do in Russia. None of my business. But she packs in a hurry. She managed to pack her cannabis oil that she uses in a vape, that she uses for medicinal purposes. I'm gonna repeat. She had vape cartridges with the cannabis oil used for vaping for medicinal purposes. And she packed it and she went to Russia. When she got to the airport in Russia, they found it. And apparently it is illegal in Russian law to carry marijuana on you or marijuana related substances. And so because of that, she was arrested and she was put in jail in Russia. And everybody's in an uproar because now we have this proxy war by Ukraine and Russia. Yes, I said proxy war because that's exactly what it is. And so because of that, Brittany has been sitting in jail and having to go to court. And she pled guilty because it was on her, it was hers, but she didn't realize, that something that she used for medicinal purposes that is legal in many states here in the United States, she would get arrested for it. So right now in the news, let me share my screen really quick because this is very important. There's been an update as of a few hours ago. And they put down the verdict. She was sentenced to 9 years. 9 years she was sentenced for having medicinal weed on her for her own private use. It says U.S. basketball star Brittany Griner was convicted Thursday in Russia of drug possession and sentenced to 9 years in prison following a politically charged trial that came amongst soaring tensions between Moscow and Washington over Ukraine and could lead to high-stakes prisoner exchange between the two world powers. 31-year-old Grenier, a two-time U.S. Olympic champion and 8-time All-Star with the WNBA's Phoenix Mercury, listened with blank expression as the interpreter translated the verdict by Judge Anna Sotnikova. Probably Sotnikova. The judge also fined her 1 million rubles or $16,700 fine. Now, President Joe Biden, he denounced the verdict and said the sentence was unacceptable. Pot calling kettle. Right now, this sentence this sentence right here is a pot calling the kettle black. Let me tell y'all something. This is what I meant by pot calling kettle. This is one of the things I meant, right? Who was one of the biggest proponents of the drug war in the United States? Who was one of the architects, the chief architects of the 94 crime bill, which perpetually pushed the drug war? Who said that they were against legalizing cannabis? Let's continue. Let's continue this. All right. This is what Biden said. He said, I call on Russia to release her immediately so that she can be with her wife, loved ones, friends, and teammates. Biden said that, adding that he would continue to work to bring Grenier and Paul uh, Whelan, an American imprisoned in Russia on espionage conviction. And they called it a miscarriage of justice. Now, what exactly happened? By the way, she said, I hope, Brittany Grenier said, I hope in your ruling it does not end my life. I hope so either. I hope so too. She was detained on February 17th. That's a few months ago. And the police said that they found vape cartridges containing cannabis oil in her luggage landing at Moscow's airport. She was returning to Russia, where she had competed since 2014. She did plead guilty, right? And let me ask you if this reminds you of something. Grenier described the confusing scene while being held at the airport, saying that an interpreter provided by authorities translated only a fraction of what was being said to her, and that officials told her to sign documents, but, quote, no one explained any of it to me, end quote. She also said that she was not informed of her rights. What does that sound like? Anybody? Anybody? Any poor or black people in the chat? What does that sound like to you? Has her lawyers introduced evidence that she was using the medical cannabis for chronic pain and injuries sustained during her career, and included a letter from her doctor? So that's what's going on in Russia right now. She's been sentenced to 9 years for marijuana possession. Now, yes, you're talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. That's what you're talking about. Yeah. But I have a kind of a juxtaposition to show you guys as well. So, Brittany Grenier got 9 years in prison in Russia. But let me show you something here. Let's get on the let's show the hypocrisy right here. Right here. Who is this? Iman Shumpert. Who is Iman Shumpert? He was arrested for a felony weed possession at a Dallas airport. This is in Texas. NBA player Iman Shumpert. Hang on, let me make sure this is big enough so y'all can see. Sorry for the noise, people. They're still working on the gutters outside. Gosh. Ugh. Anyway. Where's that my neighbor? Okay, whatever. We shall press on. Iman Shumpert was arrested for having a sizable amount of marijuana in his backpack at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport on Saturday. This is from TMZ. According to the police report, officers responded to a potential drug violation call around 2:40 in the afternoon after TSA screeners found a plastic bag filled with a green leafy substance. What the hell do you think it is? Like, oh, this appears to be a green leafy substance. Man, get out of here. Y'all know exactly what it is. Anyway, and he admitted that it was weed. It was 6.12 ounces and tested positive for marijuana using a mobile test, right? He is only a year older than Brittany Grenier, right? 32. Brittany Grenier is 31. Who sat aboard a plane from Delta plane from to Los Angeles, and they said he wasn't going to make his flight, right? He was going to Los Angeles to see his daughter. This is him at the finals, 2016 finals. Okay. Which they won. Now, I don't know that much about basketball. I'm not a big basketball person. So as far as, the records of Grenier or Shumpert, I don't really know their stats or anything like that. I just know that they both are basically basketball champions. Let's just put it that way. Okay. And of course, he was transported without incident. So for the weed possession, it says Shumpert can face up to 2 years behind bars and a $10,000 fine. He was also on Dancing with the Stars, interestingly. And then he also had a Glock magazine with, 9mm rounds, but he didn't have a gun. He just had the magazine with the bullets inside. That's it. Right? So, with that being said, oops, I left this thing small. JB, don't you know no good. Sorry. But here's the thing. Everybody's talking about free Britney, free Britney, free Britney, right? And yet, cannabis is still considered a Schedule I drug under federal law. And you can still be arrested in this country for possession of cannabis. You have Joe Biden, who is the architect of the 94 crime bill, who pushed mass incarceration, especially for drug possession, especially for minor things like cannabis, right? And yet he is pushing for her release. So is he going to push for Iman Shumpert's release now too? Is he going to commune the sentences of everybody who has been, arrested under marijuana possession? Is he going to commune all their sentences? Is he going to have them all released? If it's such a miscarriage of justice, what are they doing? What's he doing for the people here that are sitting in prison for marijuana possession? I seriously do really want to know. Everybody wants to talk about, oh my God, Russia. It's so they want to talk about Russia being very extremely repressive on its people. And yet the United States is doing the exact same thing. Same thing. What's the difference? Right? Oh, my sentences may be a little bit lighter, but you're still going to prison Imagine if Iman Shumpert was not a basketball player. What if he didn't have that type of income, right? What if he didn't have? What if he wasn't a basketball player? What if he just some random working class dude with a job that was going to fly to LA to see his daughter? Then he gets arrested, and now he has to face 2 years in prison plus a $10,000 fine. What do you say to that? What do you do to that? And so, mind you, to anybody who questions, Russia is a capitalist country now. It hasn't been socialist in decades. So get that out of your mind. Oh, where's the Soviet? No. It's not Soviet anymore. It's Russia. And they're a capitalist country now. So don't give me none of that BS. Okay? They have oligarchs and they are capitalist. But that being said, though, the United States has no room to talk at all. And the United States wanting to push to free Brittany Grenier, I think that's right. Push to get her released. But at the same time, don't you dare talk about the sins of Russia regarding this when you're committing the same sin. The exact same thing. If you're going to want to if you're going to want the release of Brittany Grenier, then free Brittany, free Iman. Free them both. And every single person that has been under marijuana possession, I would say drug possession. Because it's a non-violent thing. In the drug wars. You see what it's doing to her in Russia. What about us here? What about to a lot of us here? You don't think that it's not going to, affect us in the same way? This is the hypocrisy of the United States. The hypocrisy of the United States is they will condemn people for doing the exact same thing that they've been doing. I'm going to go there. The United States condemned Nazism, even though the United States was doing the exact same things that Nazis were doing before Nazis even ever did it, because Nazis actually got the ideas from the United States. They said so. They said so. You want to talk about putting people in cages? So that's my thing. This is the hypocrisy that's going on within this country. If you're going to say free Britney, right? Cool. I agree. But just don't say her name. There's thousands of other names in this country, that need to be said. Thousands. You're not going to sit here and just focus on one person just because you have some misguided beef with Russia. Because you're using her persecution as fuel to conduct wars in our foreign policy. That's what is basically being done. Oh my God, Russia's so horrible. Then they're doing this to our Brittany. What about the United States is doing to our Iman, man? What about the United States is doing to our people? Fix your house first, man. Isn't that what it's about? All right, fine. Look, Biden, you want to clear her? Good. I applaud that. But guess what? Decriminalize marijuana right now. Decriminalize it. Community censuses of everybody who's been charged with marijuana possession, at least. Go ahead, do it. but he's not going to do it because it's based on two things: on racism, and it's based on capitalism. Racism because they basically did the drug war, and this was bought out by somebody in Nixon's cabinet, that they wanted to do it to go after the blacks, right? And there's also capitalism because big pharma does not want it to be fully legalized, because if it's fully legalized, then that means less sales for them. They don't get to exploit us as much as they used to. That's what it's about. So it's okay to be all for marijuana legalization and justice and releasing people from the prison sentences when they're in a foreign country. But when it comes to being here, it's like, oh yeah, no, we can't do that. We just can't. No. You have to go to prison. It's the law and order. That's what it is, man. So if you're pissed off that Brittany Grenier is in prison and sentenced to 9 years in Russia, good. Be pissed off. But keep that same energy in here in the United States. Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. Look, that energy that you're expressing right now in regards to Brittany Grenier, that you're showing towards Putin, express that same energy. Keep that same energy for Joe Biden. Keep that same energy. Y'all gonna go out with your signs and say free Britney? All right, go out there for Iman. Go out there for many of us, our brothers, sisters, uncles, fathers, cousins, brothers, and siblings. Go out, go put their name on. Put a hashtag in front of their name. Go and let them know that you want them free too. Community sentences. Because you got the United States doing a proxy war against Russia's western neighbor. And then they use this to go, well, see, this is what they're doing. And yet, people want to continuously support the United States doing these proxy wars and the mass murderers of people, sending arms to Nazis. I should have put some alcohol in this. Okay. Black people. Because these are two Black people that were put in prison. I want to talk to my Black people for a second. This is why foreign policy should matter to you. I know we as Black people, a lot of times we talk about the domestic policies, regarding, us as a race here in the United States, which is important. But we also need to focus on the foreign policy. For instance, our dealings with, say, the state of Israel. Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, trains police and their tactics that they use here at home against us. Knowing and paying attention to foreign policy is also a Black issue because it is coming towards us down the pike. As a Black person, you also need to know what they're doing in the whole of the continent of Africa, in different parts of Asia, how the United States is dealing with China and Russia, how the United States is dealing with Cuba, how the United States is dealing with Brazil, and what they're doing to people in Somalia and Ethiopia, what the United States is doing to people in Libya, what the United States is doing to people in Bolivia, We need to know these things because it also directly affects us. And this is one of the reasons why, as Black people, we need to keep our eyes open when what our country is doing abroad. Because a lot of times that can also be the canary in a coal mine and what they're going to do to us in the future. So, um, do not let this be some type of means to make you look at another country and how they're dealing with people and take your eye off the ball of what the country that you're under, the jurisdiction that you're under, and what they're doing to you and people who look like and love like you. Do not take your eye off the ball. From what I know Russia got universal health care. I know they got some things that we just don't have yet. So, funny thing is, they're probably a little bit more free than we are. Doesn't that scare you? So, yeah, keep an eye on what your government is doing. And please do not fall for the BS. I'm trying to curb my language so that I can be more widely listened to, even around little ears. So, but yes, don't let that get you. I mean, they're literally using the entire Russiagate narrative to now attack Black leftists. They did it in St. Petersburg, Florida, just a few days ago. Do not let that whole Russiagate narrative take hold. It is complete BS. And if anybody wants to talk about, oh, Russia did interfere in our elections, well, back in the 90s, the United States interfered in Russian elections. The United States was actually integral in pushing for the election of was it Boris Yeltsin? So the United States has been interfering in elections for decades. Proxy wars, coups, replacing replacing a democratically elected official with a public dictator to do their bidding. It's in the history books. Well, should be in the history books. It's well documented, I should say. So, yeah, the hypocrisy of this country, of this government, is miles high. Miles high. So, yeah. Free Britney, yes, but free everybody also who's in prison in this country under the same crime. Free them too. And take it away from being a crime. Legalize it. Or at least at the very minimum, decriminalize it. Britney does not deserve this. Neither does anybody else in this country. Free them all. Free them all. Hell, I go further than that. I say free them all and give all of them reparations for being in prison for drug possession, for marijuana possession, because they should have never done it. Because now we know better. But that's a whole nother discussion. Let me go into the chat really quick. All Power to the Worker says Putin just trolled Biden good. Next, we'll find out Hunter Biden's been Biden weed from the cartel. That's a whole nother. Okay. That's another thing. Hold on. Let me wet my whistle for this one. All right. You got Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, I'm going to preface this by saying this. I personally think that all drugs in this country should be legalized, just like alcohol. Alcohol and caffeine are drugs too. So, but yeah, it should be legalized and regulated. You know, nobody over the age of 21, and then put into like doses, things like that. That's what I think. But that's beside just to add some clarification to how I feel. Hunter Biden has had a history with drug use for the harder drugs, right? Like cocaine and crack cocaine, right? That being said, while he was doing crack and crack cocaine, his father was writing the 94 crime bill. While his father was talking about how he didn't want his kids growing up in a racial jungle. I mean, Homeboy was one of the animals in the jungle. Hunter Biden is literally doing harder drugs than the people, than many of the people that are in jail for weed possession. He did harder drugs than them. And has he been to prison? Do I think Hunter Biden should go to prison? Under my belief of freeing all nonviolent drug offenders, I don't think Hunter Biden should ever go to prison. By that same token, I think everybody that's in prison for nonviolent drug offenses should be released. They should be released. They should be compensated for their pain and suffering from being in prison. And they also, if they still do have that medical issue with addiction, then they should go to a treatment center. And that's that. Joe Biden thinks that his son is better than you, especially because of this. Joe Biden thinks his son's better than you. Because if Joe Biden was a actual principled person, he would actually apply that same thing to his son, but he didn't. So he does not have principles. Rules for thee, but not for me. Therefore, it shows. He wouldn't let the crime bill that that he was one of the architects of affect his son to the full extent of the law here. But yet, he's willing to want to free somebody who has done milder drugs in another country and wants to free them. But the people who did that same mild drug here, he wants to lock them up and throw away the key. It's just wild, right? Hypocrisy everywhere. All power to the worker says Brittany is a high profile American that was caught on the eve of an illegal invasion. She is a political prisoner. Free Brittany now and decriminalize marijuana in the United States. Give him the boot says, I mean, when they're bringing on Cuomo to Dancing with the Stars, I'm sure he's dying to get back out there and touching women without consent. Damn. Damn, give him the boot. Dang. All right. Ravenscar 1313 says, honestly, 9 years is less than what a lot of people get in this country for the same crime. Yeah, there's people who got in like 30 years for just marijuana possession. Alex Nelson says this is why U.S. telling off Russia for invading Ukraine doesn't mean shit. An imperialist country telling another country not to be imperialist, no leg to stand on. Yeah, true. Yasmin, hey Yasmin, says, oh, 100% JB. Whatever happens overseas will be used at home. It's almost always used on black brown community first. Yep, it is. Thank you so much. Thanks, Bryce. I appreciate that. Correcting me, making sure I'm correct. Gold Star says breaking. Department of Justice charges 4 cops who killed Breonna Taylor. Good. Day late and a dollar short though. Should have happened a long time ago, but they're going to do the same thing for the people who killed Fred Hampton. Breonna Taylor was asleep in her bed and they shot into her house and killed her. Fred Hampton was in bed asleep and they shot into his house and they killed him. Same style. They're going to do the same thing for Fred Hampton's killers? Oh, right. That's right. They're FBI agents. I forgot. Hypocrisy, right? Goodness gracious. I'm telling you, man. So, yeah, that's basically what I want to talk about. Is that the United States always has the stance on things. Like, for instance, they'll talk about uh, you know, they'll talk about, things that Saudi Arabia, like Saudi Arabian government is a pretty totalitarian dictatorial government, and yet the United States is all cool and buddy buddy with them. But then Cuba, they kick out the people who were subjecting people to slavery and basically restructuring their economy to work for everybody so that they get rid of as many wealth disparities as they possibly can, and suddenly Castro is a dictator. It's wild, right? That's why I said pot, meet kettle. Play on words, people. Play on words. Oh, hey, Reality Revolution. Hey, good to see you. Did you get my analogy request? Too taboo. I have not looked into my show account. I haven't been on there in a while. I got to get back on there and look. But I'll get back to you. Thank you very much, by the way. Um, yeah, I don't get on my show account very often, like I should. I got to fix that. Gary Seth says in the 90s, there's a saying that your children will sweep up around the computers. Well, I give you an update. Your children will deliver Uber Eats to the Chinese, rebuild their American infrastructure. the the system that we have right now with our nation, we still have a homelessness problem. We still have an extreme poverty problem. Meanwhile, China damn near got rid of homelessness and basically eliminated extreme poverty in their nation. Then the United States wants to violate the whole one China policy treaty that they have with China, which is idiotic. And then they're trying to basically make it so that, oh, well, you know what? Taiwan needs to be independent, even though United States said that they weren't going to be pushing for that, but yet they did because Nancy Pelosi decided to take her wine loving ass over to Taiwan, even though a lot of Taiwanese people were like, get the hell out of here. We don't want you here. But then if China were to try to do the same thing with Hawaii, the United States, especially the corporate media, will be up in arms, like, "Oh my God, China's trying to undermine us by trying to broker a deal with Hawaii." What was this name of this stream again? Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, right? And the thing is that you can call it out all you want. It's just some people will still be like, well, we're the United States. We're the greatest country in the world. Yeah. Look, if people, I can't even finish it. Look, if people want to not be homeless, they just have to go down to their local Williams Sonoma and buy a house. Mike, I know that's true. But I mean, yeah, just go down to your local Williams Sonoma. Tell them JB sent you. And yeah, you can't get a discount because what? We're not going to give you handouts. We're not going to give you anything for free. No. Star says PSA: China has cut off batteries to Tesla and Ford, Apple, whatever that is, and froze their accounts in retaliation for Putin nanny Pegosi's visit, and says military exercise would continue indefinitely. Oh my gosh. See, Nancy Pelosi literally just cost Tesla, Ford, and Apple money. Nancy Pelosi did that. Wow, man. I tell you, it is ridiculous, man. Yeah. Well, and yes, Bryce, I do believe that Hawaii should get their land back, and Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, Trinidad and Tobago, and Samoa. Yeah. Hell. And Alaska, too. And Oklahoma, Montana, California, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Washington, Florida. Hey, all 50 of them. Yeah, land back. But yeah. So yeah, I didn't want to do too long of a stream. I was just gonna go about an hour just to talk about this because it needs to be said. But yeah, as far as Brittany Grenier is concerned, free her, but free everybody else that's a non-violent drug offender because it is complete and utter BS. The fact that she is under prison in the United States is also talking about they want to free her, but they don't want to free anybody else within their jurisdiction who also would be convicted of the same thing and placed in prison. It is absolutely stupid. It is absolutely asinine as the fact that they are willing to do this. And basically, the United States thinks that we're a bunch of idiots for not noticing these things. Like, look, we study history. We know these things. It's not lost upon us about what the United States is doing. So therefore, if you're not going to put up, then shut up. And the funny part is that if the sentences commune by Putin in Russia for Brittany Grenier. Well, I mean, that actually makes Putin look better than Biden, because Biden's not willing to do that for people who have marijuana possession here in the United States. I'm just saying. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Let me check to see if there's did anybody comment on Raffin? I don't think so. Nope. So, but it's good to see all of you. Thanks again to everyone who who's watched. And yes, thank you so much. Please share this video. I appreciate it very much. And also, for the people who have subscribed to my coffee page as well as my Patreon, thank you so very much. And anybody who also, is, sending me any mutual aid at all, I appreciate it very much. Yeah. So, Cat Terrell, I got you, bud. I got you. I saw your comment. I was like, he has a good point. Let me do this. And so, thank you. The inspiration for this stream was actually you. Thank you. I appreciate that because it actually needed to be talked about. And so, this is why I appreciate all of you that watch, because you teach me. So therefore, I am learning. I am a student. And I appreciate everything that you guys have done. So love to all of you from top and bottom of my heart. Yasmin says, Elon was already firing people in an effort to offset a possible recession, right? It is a big club. He probably knew that Tesla was going to take a hit for this trip. But yeah, I mean, look, Elon Musk is also a union buster. So yeah, it's not lost upon me that he will be doing that too. So, I mean, he's going to do it. He's going to do it already, I mean, and this is the same guy that talks about, oh, I'm for free speech. No, he's not. If he was for free speech, then he would be okay with his workers actually having a say at what goes on at Tesla. And then he would allow them. He would welcome them to unionize. But he's a union buster. So guess what that means? That means that he's not really for it. So all that people, basically, kissing the boot of Elon Musk, stop. Just stop. Sit down. No. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here with me. Love you all. Also, Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Savvy Sabs will be right here, and I'll be here, or the other way around, whichever. But she'll be here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Tuesday. So it'll be good to have my homie, my sister, on my channel once again. She was my first guest. I'm excited for that. Also, 2 books. Dirty Shoes by Michael Parenti and Blood in My Eye by George Jackson. I will continue the reading over this weekend so that you guys will have another reading to listen to. The Blood in My Eye by George Jackson will be on Rockfin exclusively, and Dirty Shoes by Michael Parenti will be exclusively here on YouTube. One is a little bit more spicier than the other, so I had to do it that way. But great books and reading is fundamental. And oh wait, hold on. Did I call me man, bro, dude? Though I deserve. Did I? I don't like to misgender anybody. So if I did, I apologize. But that's I'm sorry if I did. But yeah, so and then be sure to watch me on the JB show. We'll be doing a Q&A stream tonight on the Sabby and JB show at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. I can't talk today. What the hell? At 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening, we will be having a Q&A. And so that will be live. So, yeah. Oh, It is 3 o'clock. It is time for me to make it out to the schoolyard and get on this lunch. Oh, hey, Quaker. So good to see you. Yeah. Oh, wait. Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Just take a look. It's in a book called Reading Rainbow. Sorry. I'm being goofy right now. I'm hungry as hell. Anyway, appreciate every single one of y'all. You guys are lovely. And look, water your plants. Water yourselves. Leave the world better than you found it. Smoke them if you got them. And if you don't smoke, then have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee. Do something that brings you life. Kick your feet up. Rest a spell. Enjoy the sunlight. Forehead kisses, mwah, to every single one of y'all. I love you and only you.
I love you. You love me. We're a great